Hi, this is Will, the beautiful Pleasant Street. The video you're about to watch is our first attempt at planting a garden in the backyard. Enjoy. We have our backyard garden. We have 5 4x4 three-tiered raised beds, and in the entirety, even with mulch in the bottom, holds 75 cubic feet of earth that we had to buy to put in there. Up here we have Brussels sprouts. They're looking pretty good. And then some lettuce, cherry tomatoes, some peppers. Here's some onions. I wrote it, just randomly decided to plant in the bed. And some garlic. Over here, the butter crunch lettuce is looking great. And this kind of lettuce, you can harvest the outer leaves just by snapping them off, and they'll keep producing lettuce for 3 months. Over here we have some hot peppers, some sweet peppers, some leeks, and some hybrid tomatoes and some regular tomatoes. They're doing really good. Look at those thick stalks. In this third bed, we're growing some broccoli. This is celery. We have some yellow summer squash over here. It's looking great since we put it in. It's really starting to cover the ground. We have some random Filipino squash right here. I already got the seeds for it. And these are cucumbers. Eventually what we're going to do is put a trellis up from one bed to the next, and we'll train these cucumbers to go up over the trellis. Over on this side, more cucumbers, more peppers. These are sweet bell peppers. We have some green ones and some red ones in here. This is a bed of watermelon, and I think we're just going to let those spill out onto the ground and spread out. We have some romaine lettuce. Is looking pretty good. The lettuce has been doing really well here. A few days ago we planted this zucchini, and it's doing great. It's really spreading out as the leaves are getting huge. Some more different kind of lettuce. And another lettuce. I guess we're going to have a lot of salad. Our raised bed garden. As you can see, the other kind of lettuce that we have is doing really well. Spreading out. The Brussels sprouts are a little bit taller. They're growing fairly slowly. But the cherry tomatoes have blossoms on them, and we've seen bees fertilizing them. The pepper plants that we got from Walmart have been a little bit disappointing. They look a little wilted. They're not really thriving. This is a Filipino squash that we started in an AeroGarden, and it's doing really well. The leaves are getting really big. Over here, the butter crunch lettuce is just going crazy. It loves it in here. It's huge. And the pepper plants that we got from Randall's farm, they were about 2 inches tall. They're doing great. They look perfect. We got the hybrid tomatoes over here. Lots and lots of buds on them, and some of them are starting to blossom. So we should start to see little tiny green tomatoes very soon. This is a summer squash growing like a weed. It's going like crazy. Just spreading out in a section of this raised bed with huge leaves. Back here we have a Filipino hot pepper plant. Is that right, hon?
Yeah.
It's growing pretty well. We're starting to train the cucumbers to climb up this little trellis fence here instead of bothering the Filipino pepper. This is celery, looking pretty good. The stalks are starting to get a little bit thick. This is broccoli, another slow grower like the Brussels sprouts. We have some cucumbers over here, starting to send out timing tendrils, so that's exciting. And then these pepper plants, these are the red peppers and green peppers, are looking good. The watermelon plants, compared to the squash, they kind of grow slowly, but they're really starting to differentiate the shape of the leaves. And then we have romaine lettuce here. You know, we're all familiar with romaine lettuce in the grocery store. It gets really thick and tall, so this is definitely on its way. More romaine lettuce. Some like Swiss chard in here that's doing really well. And then back here, the zucchini squash is spreading out really nicely. It's growing like a weed. It's going crazy. Even though this is the bed that probably gets the least amount of sunshine during the day. And apparently it's getting enough to really grow fast. And all these beds, we water them maybe once, sometimes twice a day. And they're really thriving when we do that. We don't have to worry about overwatering because the water just drains out the bottom into the ground. Well, we've already started having some salads because we've been harvesting the butter crunch lettuce and some of the Swiss chard. You just come down underneath, you pick a leaf that you like, and then you just squeeze it off and pinch it off. And salad. And Rhoda planted a lot of different kinds of bulbs in here. And we're already seeing some little sprouts start to come up. And then our latest acquisition is the cherry tree. It's a Tartarian black cherry tree. Came in looking kind of dead, and even though there's a lot of tree roots over here, I was able to plant it in this section here. Hopefully this is going to come back and start looking like it's alive again. Well, to eat something that you produced yourself. Feels very self-sufficient, and the good part about it is you know exactly what went into it. You know what kind of soil, you know that you didn't use pesticides, you know exactly what kind of fertilizer you used. So you know exactly what's going into your body. That's the best part. So this is a zucchini plant. It's starting to bud, and then each one of these buds is going to turn into a zucchini.
In 5.
Hi all. So when we planted the zucchini squash, I told Rhoda that it's going to grow like weeds, and look at it. It is growing like a weed. Look at the size of those leaves. And unfortunately, though, it's starting to encroach upon the lettuce, which is on the next row here. So what we need to do is maybe put some stakes in here or tie them up, kind of get them off the lettuce a bit. This is the romaine lettuce. It's looking really healthy, starting to thicken up. We got way more lettuce here than we could ever eat. The pepper plants, growing tall, starting to see a couple buds on here. Starting to bud. Cucumbers, cucumber flowers. Each one of these flowers will be a cucumber. Maybe we'll make our own pickles this year, we'll see. More cucumber flowers. Just about every plant here is starting to bloom. Then we have the summer squash over here. It's getting really big. And some blooms. So one mystery here is each bloom is connected to this big fleshy part. That looks like summer squash. So I don't understand how the summer squash starts to form before the flower has had a chance to even be pollinated. And then over here we have some broccoli. The broccoli heads are just starting to form. And of course we know that the broccoli heads are just flowers, right? So these plants, these broccoli plants are starting to flower. The butter crunch lettuce is getting really tall. There's so much here. Could feed 10 families all this lettuce that we have. Unfortunately, it's getting a little brown on the edges here. Not sure why. Maybe because it covers so much of the bed, it's not getting enough water. Have to try to do a better job of watering it. And then the regular tomato plants are getting really tall. Lots and lots of blossoms. Every single blossom will be a tomato. And I did see a little green tomato over here somewhere, right here. Here's a little green tomato just starting to form. And another tomato, and another tomato. Wow. And it's only the start of June. I'm surprised that we're starting to see tomatoes already in the beginning of June. These are the Brussels sprouts. They're looking good and healthy. And they're supposed to send up a single stalk from the middle of this, and then each Brussels sprout would be on the sides of it, if you've ever seen a picture of the Brussels sprout plant. And over here we have Filipino squash. It's doing way better. We have a garlic plant and an onion plant. And then the grape tomatoes. Lots and lots of blossoms. This is a plant that really likes its space, right? It's kind of not a lot of leaves, but it's really spreading out all over the place. Interesting to contrast this with the other tomato plants. We have the watermelon plants. I was a little concerned early on. They didn't look like they were really thriving, but now they look like they're doing really well. And these watermelons look like they want to go that direction. I guess we'll just encourage that and just have it spill out onto a platform between these two beds, or allow it to just go onto the ground. Does this flower look different than the other flower?
Yeah.
Maybe one is a male, one's a female. romaine in the shade is doing better than the romaine in the sun.
Why do you say that? Looks greener.
Greener in color.
And what?
Wow, it really wrapped itself around there, like. The summer squash is really growing. How many summer squash can I see? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 squashes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, about 15 more blossoms on the way. That could be 25 squashes on one plant. Thank you for watching the video. Make sure you press the like button and subscribe if you want to see other quality videos. Bye-bye.